Alex's heart pounded as the shuttle descended through the swirling orange clouds of Vulpia. Through the small window he could see sprawling cities built into giant crystalline trees, their branches sparkling under twin suns. This was it, the planet he had dreamed of visiting ever since he joined the interstellar exchange program, a human in a Vulpine home. He adjusted the strap of his bag, trying to hide his nervous excitement. "Deep breath, Alex. You've got this," he muttered, to himself. He had watched countless videos about Vulpine culture, read manuals on etiquette, and even practiced some basic phrases in their musical lilting language. Still, nothing could fully prepare him for this moment. As the shuttle landed on a hovering platform, a group of Vulpines approached. They were tall, elegant creatures, covered in soft fur that shimmered in shades of silver and gold. Their pointed ears twitched with every sound, and their bushy tails flicked with subtle excitement. Alex's eyes landed on a particularly confident Vulpine who was clearly in charge. "Welcome, human," the Vulpine said, bowing slightly. His voice was smooth, warm, and somehow teasing. "I am Kale. You will share a residence with me." Alex blinked. Hi. Nice to meet you, Kale." Kale's golden eyes sparkled, and he tilted his head in a curious, almost mischievous way. "I hope you are ready to experience life as a true Vulpine, Alex." Alex laughed nervously. "I think so. I hope so." The ride from the platform to the exchange residence was a blur. Kale spoke rapidly, explaining small details about their city, the rules of the residence, and some local slang. Alex tried to keep up, nodding politely while secretly wondering how he would survive here without messing something up. When they arrived at the residence, Kyle gestured to a pair of connected rooms with wide windows overlooking a sparkling river that reflected the twin suns. "Your room is here," Kale said, opening the door. "I trust you will respect our customs, and do not be surprised if I watch you closely at first." Alex swallowed. Okay. Sure." Kale's tail twitched. "Good. Curiosity is encouraged, but laziness is frowned upon." Alex quickly set down his bag and began unpacking. He had brought only a few essentials: clothes, a notebook, and some small gadgets he hoped would impress his alien peers. His fingers brushed against a small pocket-sized drone, one he had modified to hover quietly and follow simple commands. Humans were known for inventiveness, and Alex hoped to prove that even here, among advanced aliens, humans had something unique to offer. Kale leaned against the doorway, watching him carefully. "You are a curious species," Kale said, his voice low, playful. "You examine everything. I like that." Alex froze. "Oh, thanks," he said uncertainly. Kale laughed softly. "Do not be nervous. You will learn to enjoy it." That evening, they attended a welcome gathering for all exchange students. The room was alive with music, laughter, and the smell of strange but delicious food. Vulpines moved with graceful agility, tails swishing in rhythm. Alex followed Kale's lead, trying to mimic their posture and gestures. "You are stiff," Kale whispered, leaning close. His warm breath brushed Alex's ear, and he quickly stepped back, embarrassed. "Relax, move naturally, watch me." Alex tried, and Kale's approving nod made him feel slightly better. Despite the teasing, Alex could see that Kale genuinely wanted him to succeed. Humans were often seen as clumsy or overly cautious, but here, Alex's quick thinking and adaptability already stood out. During the games at the gathering, Alex noticed a group of Vulpine students struggling to repair a floating holographic display. Without thinking, he stepped forward. Using a small tool from his bag, he quickly adjusted a few circuits. The display flickered to life, much to the amazement of everyone around. Kale's eyes widened, and then he grinned. "Impressive. You solve problems differently than we do. Humans are clever in unexpected ways." Alex felt a flush of pride. "Thanks, I guess. I just try to figure things out as I go." Kale's tail flicked sharply, a clear sign of amusement. "That is a quality I respect." He leaned closer again, his gaze curious and intense. "Do not think this makes you superior. Just Different. I like different. Alex laughed awkwardly, unsure how to respond. Vulpine flirting, or whatever this was hard to read. But there was no denying that Kale's attention was flattering, even if it made him nervous. As the evening ended, the students were guided back to their rooms. Alex walked beside Kale in silence for a moment, absorbing the alien city around him. He had dreamed of this for years, yet now that he was here, reality felt surreal. Kale glanced at him, smiling. Tomorrow, you will meet your tutors and begin. Lessons in Vulpine culture, I will be your guide. Prepare to be challenged, human. Alex nodded. I'll do my best. Kyle chuckled softly. Good. That is all I ask. Later that night, as Alex lay on the soft fur-lined mattress, he thought about the day. Vulpines were fascinating, their society so different yet filled with beauty. And Kyle, well, Kyle was undeniably charming. He pulled out his notebook and scribbled a note. Humans can survive anywhere. Just need to think, adapt, and keep an open mind. Alex drifted off to sleep with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Tomorrow promised more challenges, more discoveries, and undoubtedly more of Kale's teasing attention. But one thing was clear. Being human on Vulpia was going to be an adventure like no other. And Alex was ready to prove that humans could shine anywhere, even among fox-like aliens who were clever, confident, and a little bit flirty. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft glow of Vulpia's twin suns spilling across the crystalline trees outside his window. He sat up, rubbing his eyes, and realized that he wasn't sure what to expect from his first full day on the planet. Kyle had already left the room, his tail swishing behind him as he disappeared down the hallway. Alex groaned softly. I have to keep up with that guy, he muttered. Humans were adaptable, yes, but Kale made even the simplest actions look graceful. After a quick breakfast of steaming purple fruits and a sweet, fizzy drink he had never tasted before, Alex followed Kale to their first lesson. Vulpine etiquette and communication. The classroom was a large, open dome with floating platforms and walls that shifted color according to mood. Students from many species filled the space, their chatter blending into a musical hum. Kyle led Alex to an empty platform and whispered, Observe. Do not rush. Balance is important. Alex nodded, trying to mirror Kale's calm, poised movements. The instructor, a tall Vulpine with silver fur and bright green eyes, began speaking in rapid melodic phrases. Alex struggled to follow, his ears straining to catch the correct tones. Focus on patterns, not individual words. Kyle murmured beside him. You humans are good at logic. Apply it here. Alex took a deep breath and tried to identify the repeating rhythms in the language. Slowly, he started mimicking the sounds, occasionally getting a small nod or smile from Kale as confirmation. The human's ability to analyze and adapt quickly became clear. Even in a culture so different from their own, they could make sense of it. After the lesson, Kale guided Alex through a practical exercise in Vulpine customs. They had to exchange greetings, mimic certain social gestures, and respond to signals from other students. Alex stumbled at first, knocking over a small, levitating tray of tools with his backpack. Kale's golden eyes glimmered with amusement. Clumsy but persistent, that is the human way. Alex flushed but smiled. Thanks, I think. Do not take offense. I admire persistence, Kale replied. Then with a teasing glint he added, It is attractive. Alex's ears twitched. He wasn't sure if Kale was joking or flirting. Either way, it made his cheeks warm. Later, the pair attended a cultural cooking session where Vulpines demonstrated how to prepare traditional dishes, using techniques that seemed impossible to a human. Ingredients floated in mid-air and flavors changed with temperature and sound. Alex struggled to keep up, dropping a glowing blue fruit into a bowl upside down. Kale swooped in, tail brushing Alex's shoulder as he corrected the placement with a playful smirk. You humans are inventive, Kale said. You find solutions we would not think of. Alex grinned. I just improvise. Their team completed the dish successfully, and the instructor praised them for both creativity and teamwork. Kale's expression softened as he looked at Alex. See? You can shine even in our ways. Humans have a spark. As the day continued, Alex faced more challenges. He learned to navigate floating corridors, understand Vulpine social cues, and even participate in a small engineering puzzle where a hovering drone needed repair. He pulled out a small toolkit he had carried for emergencies and with human-style logical thinking, figured out the drone's problem in minutes. Kale's tail flicked sharply, eyes wide with surprise and admiration. You do not follow our rules. You find your own. Brilliant. Alex felt a swell of pride. Humans were sometimes underestimated on other planets, but here, their adaptability, quick thinking, and creativity truly stood out. Kyle's constant teasing turned into genuine respect, though he still mixed it with playful flirtation, making Alex feel both embarrassed and pleased. In the late afternoon, Alex wandered to the residence's central garden to catch a break. The garden was enormous, with bioluminescent plants and small streams of liquid that shimmered like liquid crystal. Kyle joined him, carrying a small device that projected holographic images into the air. "Show me something human," Kyle said, eyes glinting with curiosity. Alex hesitated, then The next morning, the twin suns of Vulpia rose slowly, casting warm light across the crystalline trees. Alex woke with a mixture of excitement and nerves. Today was special. Kale had promised to take him to the Festival of Lights, a Vulpine celebration, full of games, music, and floating lanterns. Alex had seen videos online, but nothing compared to the real thing. Kale bounded into the room, tail flicking with enthusiasm. "Today you will see Vulpia at its brightest," he said, eyes sparkling. "And you will participate. No hiding behind human caution." Alex gulped. Participate? Got it. They left the residence and walked through streets alive with color and sound. Floating platforms carried performers, while crowds of Vulpines moved gracefully, tails flicking in rhythm to the music. The scent of exotic foods filled the air, and holographic displays danced above the city. Alex felt overwhelmed and amazed. "Focus," Kale said, leaning close. "Take it in step by step. You humans notice things differently, that is good." Their first stop was a game of aerial agility. Vulpines leaped from floating platforms, catching glowing orbs mid-air while performing acrobatic maneuvers. Alex hesitated, unsure how he would keep up. "You can do it," Kale said, his golden eyes locking on Alex's. "Trust your instincts." Alex nodded, stepping onto a small floating platform. His first leap was shaky. He nearly missed the orb, but instinct and quick thinking, very human traits, helped him grab it at the last second. Kale clapped, his laughter warm and approving. "Not bad," Kale said, flicking his tail. "You are unpredictable, I like that." Alex smiled, feeling a surge of pride. Humans often solved problems differently than aliens, and Kale's words reminded him that his creativity and adaptability were strengths, not weaknesses. After the game, they moved to a puzzle challenge. A floating cube hovered in midair, filled with shifting lights and patterns. The objective was to align the colors perfectly before time ran out. Vulpines tapped and waved their hands elegantly, but the cube's movement was confusing even to them. Alex studied it carefully. "Okay, pattern, not just movement," he muttered. He traced the cube's rotations in his mind, testing combinations in a methodical way humans often used. Slowly, the lights began to align. With one final adjustment, the cube glowed solid gold. Kale's ears twitched, tail swishing. "Clever human," he said, voice full of admiration. "You solve problems we would struggle with." Alex blushed. "I just think differently, I guess." Kale leaned closer, brushing Alex's shoulder with his tail. "Different is valuable," he whispered, "and entertaining." Alex laughed nervously, feeling both flustered and proud. Kyle's attention was distracting, but it also motivated him to perform his best. Next, They wandered through lantern gardens where glowing orbs floated gently above pools of liquid crystal. Children chased the lights while adults watched, laughing softly. Kyle handed Alex a lantern with strange symbols etched on it. "You must release it properly," Kyle said. "It is a symbol of intention and respect, and teamwork." Alex hesitated. The symbols were confusing, but his human intuition kicked in. He followed the patterns, adjusted the lantern carefully, and released it into the air. The lantern floated gracefully among hundreds of others, shining brightly in the golden light. Kale's expression softened. "Impressive. Humans find their own way, even in our customs. That is rare." Alex felt a warm pride swell in his chest. Humans were sometimes underestimated in the galaxy, but here, his ingenuity and calm thinking made a real difference. Kyle's admiration was clear, and Alex realized he was beginning to understand not just Vulpine culture but Kale himself. Suddenly, a small alarm sounded from the festival's control tower. A mechanical display nearby began to spin out of control, threatening to collide with the crowd. Panic spread through the gathering. Kyle's ears flattened. "This is bad. Stay close." Alex's mind raced. He spotted a floating drone nearby, unused but functional. With quick thinking, he grabbed it and examined the control panel. Using a mix of human logic and improvisation, he rerouted the drone's programming to intercept the malfunctioning display. The spinning structure slowed, then hovered safely above the crowd. The Vulpines gasped, then erupted into applause. Kale's tail twitched with excitement and he grinned. "Human ingenuity at work. You are remarkable." Alex felt a mix of relief and pride. His heart pounded not just from the adrenaline, but also from Kale's praise. Humans were clever, adaptable, and resourceful, and today, he had proved it in front of an entire alien festival. As the festival continued, Kale nudged Alex. "You are full of surprises. I thought humans were fragile, cautious, but you are bold, clever, unpredictable. I like that." Alex swallowed, unsure how to respond. His cheeks warmed. Thank you," he said. "I'm just trying to do my best." Kale leaned closer, tail brushing Alex's side again. "Your best is fascinating," he whispered. The festival ended with a breathtaking display of floating lanterns rising toward the sky, each one a symbol of hope and unity. Alex and Kale stood side by side, watching the colors blend with the fading sunlight. For a moment there was quiet, a shared understanding that humans and Vulpines could learn from each other, and maybe, just maybe, more than that. As they walked back to the residence, Kale's tail flicked playfully. "Tomorrow, new lessons, new challenges. You will continue to surprise me, human." Alex smiled. "I'll try my best." Kyle laughed softly. "You always do. That is why humans are special." That night, Alex lay on his bed thinking about the day. He had faced new customs, solved alien puzzles, and even prevented a disaster. Humans were capable of much more than others often realized, and Kale had reminded him of that in ways both playful and sincere. Alex pulled out his notebook and wrote a simple note. "Observe and adapt. 2. Think differently. It works. 3. Humans can shine anywhere. 4. Sometimes humans can also be charming if Kale notices." He smiled at the last line, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Life on Vulpia was unpredictable, challenging, and full of surprises. But Alex had a feeling that he was exactly where he needed to be. Humans were clever. Humans were brave. Humans could adapt to anything, even a festival full of fox-like aliens, dangerous displays, and a roommate who was part mentor, part mischief, and entirely captivating. And tomorrow promised another adventure, one that would test Alex's human ingenuity and his ability to navigate not only alien culture, but also Kale's teasing, flirtatious attention. The morning light spilled over Vulpia as Alex woke to an unusual hum vibrating through the city. Outside, the crystalline trees glimmered, but something felt wrong. Kyle was already alert, ears twitching, his golden eyes scanning the horizon. "Alex," Cale said, voice tense. "There is a disturbance near the central energy grid. Something is interfering with the city's systems." Alex's pulse quickened. Humans were often underestimated in crises, but his mind immediately began analyzing the problem. "What kind of interference?" he asked. Kyle shook his head. "Unknown. But it is spreading fast." They rushed to the energy hub, a massive structure of glowing crystals and floating conduits. Vulpine engineers were scrambling, trying to stabilize the fluctuating energy streams. Sparks flew, and the hum grew louder, reverberating through the ground. Alex surveyed the scene. "The system is overloading because something is sending false signals," he muttered. "If we don't reroute the circuits, the whole grid could collapse." Cale's ears flattened. "Do it. Humans are clever. Show me your way." Alex took a deep breath and ran to a control panel. Using his knowledge of logic and pattern recognition, he traced the false signals. He noticed something the Vulpines had overlooked, a minor loop in the code that humans often use to simplify complex systems. "This loop? It's allowing the interference to spread faster," Alex said. "We can isolate it if we redirect energy through backup channels." Cale watched closely, occasionally nudging Alex's shoulder with a tail. "Hurry, human, the city relies on this." Alex worked quickly, combining human improvisation with careful observation of the alien system. He bypassed damaged conduits, adjusted crystal alignment, and stabilized the energy flow just enough to prevent a collapse. Sparks still flew, but the hum subsided and the engineers cheered. Cale's tail twitched with pride. "Human ingenuity saves the day. Again. You are remarkable." Alex wiped sweat from his forehead. "I just looked at it differently," he said. "Sometimes you have to try a new approach." The engineers nodded in agreement. Even among advanced Vulpines, human problem-solving was unusual and effective. Cale leaned close, his gaze intense. "Your way is dangerous, yet brilliant. I admire it." Alex blushed, feeling the familiar warmth when Cale complimented him. "Thanks. I just do what I can." As the day continued, Alex and Cale worked with engineers to ensure no further interference would occur. The humans' logical, adaptable approach proved invaluable. Where Vulpines relied on tradition and patterns, Alex applied creativity and quick thinking. That evening, after the crisis had been averted, the city held a quiet ceremony to honor the students who had helped. Kyle stood beside Alex, his golden eyes glowing in the soft light of lanterns. "You are exceptional, human," Cale said softly. "Not just clever, but brave and resourceful. You make others think differently and hope differently." Alex felt a mix of pride and nervousness. Cale's attention was now more personal, more direct than before. He could feel Cale's admiration, and The next morning, Vulpia seemed calm, but Alex knew better. After yesterday's energy crisis, he understood that even a beautiful world like this could face sudden dangers. Cale appeared at his doorway, tail swishing with a mixture of excitement and concern. "Alex," Cale said, voice serious yet encouraging. "The council has detected an anomaly in the outer districts. Energy readings suggest instability that could affect the entire city if ignored." Alex's heart raced. Another challenge, but this time bigger than ever. Humans were often underestimated in alien worlds, but this was the moment to truly show ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. They arrived at the outer districts, where tall, crystalline structures leaned precariously under strange energy surges. Citizens had evacuated safely, but the air hummed with tension. Vulpine engineers were at work, but the problem was complex. The energy patterns were unpredictable and spreading rapidly. Alex examined the main control hub. "This isn't just a local malfunction," he said. "Something external is interfering, some signal or pulse affecting the energy flow." Cale's ears twitched. "We must act carefully. Humans are clever. Lead the way." Alex assessed the situation. The interference came in pulses, disrupting circuits at intervals too fast for Vulpine systems to stabilize. He realized the only Way to fix it was to trace the signal to its source and reroute energy in real time, something humans excelled at. Quick thinking, improvisation, and adaptability. This is our plan, Alex said. We'll split tasks. I'll trace the signal and redirect energy. You coordinate the engineers to stabilize critical nodes. Kyle nodded, impressed by Alex's decisiveness. Humans can lead when necessary. I trust your judgment. Alex focused on the control panel, following patterns invisible to most. Using a combination of logic, instinct, and creative thinking, he identified the source, a small rogue energy transmitter malfunctioning deep in the district. We have to reach it physically, Alex said. It's unstable. Remote adjustments. Won't work. Kyle's tail flicked sharply. Dangerous but doable. Humans are brave. Let's go. They navigated floating pathways, dodging sparks and shifting conduits. Alex's mind raced, analyzing every step to minimize risk. Humans were known for their adaptability, thinking on their feet and improvising solutions under pressure. Kyle watched in awe as Alex combined strategy, observation, and courage to reach the transmitter safely. The device pulsed violently, threatening to overload. Alex examined it quickly. I need to reroute its energy through the secondary circuits, but the connectors are non-standard. I'll have to improvise a tool. Kale leaned closer, offering support. Humans are inventive. Show me your way, using his toolkit. Alex modified a connector and inserted it carefully into the transmitter. Sparks flew, but the energy stabilized. The hum softened, and the device ceased its dangerous pulses. The crisis was over. Engineers cheered from below, and Kale's golden eyes glimmered with admiration. Human brilliance saved the day, he said. Again, you are remarkable in ways few can imagine. Alex exhaled, heart still racing. We did it together, he said, glancing at Kale. Humans can adapt, but teamwork matters too. Kale smiled, brushing Alex's shoulder with his tail. Yes, but humans think differently. You see solutions we do not. That is why you shine. As the sun set, casting Vulpia in warm gold and violet hues, the city celebrated the human who had faced danger and solved impossible problems. Kale led Alex to a quiet rooftop overlooking the sparkling skyline. Lanterns floated gently in the distance, each a symbol of hope and unity. You did more than fix circuits, Kale said softly. You inspired everyone. Humans are clever, brave, and kind. You prove that being different can change the world. Alex smiled, feeling pride and warmth. I just try to help where I can. Humans, we adapt, think creatively, and care. Kale's ears twitched, tail brushing Alex's side, and sometimes humans make others notice them, in ways that are unexpected and fascinating. Alex laughed softly, feeling the familiar flutter in his chest. Kale's admiration and teasing had grown into sincere respect and something more, a connection that humans and Vulpines could share despite their differences. As night fell, Alex reflected on everything he had experienced: the festival, the puzzles, the crises, and the challenges. Humans were adaptable, intelligent, courageous, and empathetic. They could solve problems, inspire others, and shine in ways no one else could. He pulled out his notebook, writing the final notes of his journey. Humans adapt and find creative solutions. 2. Courage and teamwork are powerful together. 3. Helping others inspires hope and respect. 4. Being human is about more than survival. It is about shining wherever you are. Kyle watched quietly, his golden eyes softening. Alex, humans are extraordinary. You have shown me courage, intelligence, and heart. I am proud to know you. Alex felt a rush of emotion. Kale's words were honest, unpretentious, and meaningful. Thank you, Kale. That means a lot coming from you. They stood together in silence for a moment, watching the city glow under the twin moons rising. Lanterns drifted overhead, floating peacefully, symbolizing unity, trust, and the bond between humans and Vulpines. Finally, Kyle leaned closer, voice gentle. Tomorrow is another day, another challenge, but I know humans will continue to surprise me, and perhaps so will you. Alex smiled, feeling hope and excitement for the future. Humans had proved themselves on Vulpia, not just through ingenuity, bravery, and creativity, but through connection, empathy, and the ability to inspire. And as he looked at Kale, Alex realized that being human on Vulpia was more than surviving, more than adapting. It was about leaving a mark, building trust, and shining in a way that no one could forget. Humans were clever. Humans were brave. Humans could inspire and lead anywhere. And Alex, human, adaptable, inventive, courageous, had proven it. The next morning, Vulpia's twin suns rose lazily over the crystalline trees, casting golden reflections across the city. Alex stretched, feeling the weight of yesterday's adventure in his muscles, but also the thrill of accomplishment. Humans were adaptable, yes, but each new day on Vulpia brought challenges that tested creativity, courage, and quick thinking. Kale appeared at the doorway, tail flicking impatiently. Today is not ordinary, human. The central dome, where Vulpines manage energy and communication, reports a serious malfunction. If it fails, parts of the city will lose power. Alex's heart skipped. This was bigger than yesterday's crisis, but he felt a strange surge of determination. Humans thrived under pressure, and he intended to prove it again. They rushed through the streets toward the central dome. Engineers and officials moved frantically, adjusting floating conduits and recalibrating crystal circuits. The hum of unstable energy filled the air, vibrating through the ground. Kale glanced at Alex. This is not just a test of skill, it is a test of courage. Humans are clever. Show me yours. Alex nodded, his fingers brushing the panel of a malfunctioning conduit. He observed the system carefully. Unlike the Vulpines, who followed protocols, he approached the problem like a puzzle. Logic, improvisation, and quick adjustments. I see the issue, Alex said. The main regulator is blocked and it's causing feedback loops. If we don't bypass it immediately, the energy will surge and shut down the entire dome. Kale's ears twitched. You will need to act fast. Alex analyzed the floating conduits and devised a plan. He grabbed a portable tool from his bag, modified it to interface with Vulpine crystal tech, and rerouted the energy through a secondary channel. Sparks flew as power surged in unexpected directions, but the system stabilized gradually. The engineers gasped in awe. Incredible! No one thought of that. Kale's golden eyes gleamed. Human ingenuity. Once again, brilliant. Alex wiped sweat from his brow. I just thought differently, but the crisis was far from over. The main regulator, though bypassed, had begun to crack. A massive energy surge could still cause destruction. Alex needed a long-term solution, and fast. He scanned the patterns of energy flow, noticed subtle vibrations, and realized something the Vulpines had overlooked. A series of tiny, hidden nodes could be used to distribute power evenly, preventing overload. Kyle, Alex said, pointing to the nodes, we can stabilize the system if we link these nodes in a chain. It will redirect excess energy safely. Kyle nodded, impressed. Lead the way, human. I will assist. Working together, Alex and Kale climbed through the floating conduits, carefully connecting nodes with modified human tools. Sparks leaped and the air hummed with unstable energy. The task was dangerous, but Alex remained calm, using precise calculations and observations. Finally, they connected the last node. Energy flowed smoothly through the network. The hum subsided, the glowing conduit stabilized, and the city's power returned to normal. Engineers cheered, and Kyle's tail flicked in approval. You humans are remarkable, Kyle said, leaning close. Not just clever, but fearless when it matters. You surprise me again and again. Alex smiled, feeling the familiar warmth that came with Kale's praise. We humans find ways to adapt. That's all. Kale chuckled softly, brushing Alex's arm with his tail. You are more than all that, Alex. You shine in ways I cannot ignore. As the city celebrated, Kale led Alex to a quiet rooftop, overlooking Vulpia's sparkling skyline. The twin suns were low in the sky, painting everything in gold and violet. Lanterns floated gently in the